Alright, player twos, let's get started drawing Superman. Again, same as always, when I draw in red, you press very lightly with your pencils. This is the guideline step. First thing we're going to do is we're going to draw an oval right in the middle of your paper. Okay, now this oval is going to be the base of the entire picture. So we're going to build up on the top and we're going to build up on the bottom. So make sure you're leaving room on all sides. Next thing we're going to do, like we usually do, is we're just going to draw a very light line right down the middle of the entire picture. So this way it helps keep both sides even. The next step, we're going to draw an oval right about here. So we're building up this picture, so what's going to happen is that this is going to be his head, this is going to be his body. The next step, we're going to draw a rectangle down here. I'm going to try to keep it even on both sides. And then a triangle right there. So as you can see, this is already starting to take shape. Head, torso, midsection. Now we're going to do the legs. We're going to do an oval here. And then a larger oval here. And then a smaller one here. We're going to get more into this when we do the detail stage, but this is going to be forced perspective, where this leg is going to be larger than this one because this one is back. And since he's in the motion of him lunging, his legs are not going to be completely shown. The next step, about right here, you're going to do another oval. About the same size as his head. Then an oval right here, and an oval right there. Head, torso, legs, arm, hand. Next thing you know, we're going to do two more ovals. One right here. This will link at the shoulder. Another one right here. And a square at the bottom right there. Then starting right about here, we're going to do kind of like a triangle that ends on the shoulders. If you feel it better by drawing through, you can draw down to there and then bring it around here and curve it at the top. Kind of like a giant Dorito. Then we'll do a little curve right here, a little curve right here, and then go underneath there. So this will be for his cape. We're going to clean this up a little bit when the detail stage. So as of right now, guideline stage is almost set. Head, body, torso, legs, arms, cape. We're going to do, just to show where everything is, we're going to do our pentagon, our five-sided shape for Superman's logo, just like we did last episode. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this is when things get a little tricky. This is when we're going to do step 2, where I'm going to draw in blue. This is the detail step. Press a little harder with your pencils, but not too hard, because eventually we're going to go in, we're going to erase all of our pencil marks. We're going to start at the middle of his head. What we're going to do, starting right here, we're going to do a letter L. Then one line here, one line here, and two circles. Again, we're going to try to make everything even on both sides. Then we're going to do kind of like a letter C. Whoops, excuse me. The curve's a little bit. I'll redo that whole thing. A letter C. And and then a line right through there. So that'll be his teeth, his grimace. Now if you curve it too much, which is what I did right there, it actually looks like he's smiling, so we'll go from there. What we're going to do is eyebrows. And then on the sides, we're going to actually go outside of the original oval shape that we did for his head to finish this up. But we're going to start at the corner right there and draw these two lines. One line down. I did that too close to the mouth. One line down. Now you notice, every time I make a little mistake, I can just easily get rid of it. That's why I tell you all to press very lightly with your pencils, because this is a more complicated project than we usually do. But along the way, if you do make mistakes, erase it. If you press lightly with your pencil, you should have no problems just erasing your mistakes. And the good thing about this being on YouTube is I always say that if I'm going too fast, or you made a mistake, or you have trouble with this step, pause it. Take your time. I know I go fast. I got a lot to cover in a short amount of time. But if you guys need to, pause it, catch up. So we have nose, eyes, mouth, cheekbones. We're going to start right here at the bottom, and we're going to actually go a little bit past our oval we originally did and make this kind of a square, because this drawing is going to be very, very angular. Then we're going to go up. Now we're going to do his hair. All right, we're going to start right here. Superman has his S curl, so at the top of his head, you're going to do a letter S. Then you're going to do a shape kind of like this, like an oval that cuts down. I'm just going to shade that in. And then you're going to do another oval here. And another oval here. So it's like one oval there, two on the side there. We're going to follow our line that we did here, and then we're going to bring this straight down. Same thing over here. We're going to follow a curve that we did right here, bring it straight down. So we should have a shape that looks like this. So bump in the middle, two small curves, and there we have his head. We'll slap some ears on the side as two small ovals. And there you go. So right now we should have Superman's face. We're going to finish his neck, and then we're going to go up, start at the top, and then work our way down. All right, this is why we have to be very careful that we don't smear our pencil. So again, as I said before, a lot of times people will put their hand on the paper as they draw, and when they draw, they end up smearing their pencil. So we're just going to start at the top and work our way down so we can eliminate that a little bit. Now I'm just going to do a couple lines here for his neck. And then a couple curves here, and I'm going to follow this down right around here. So Superman's neck and these muscles right here, the trapezius muscles, are exposed. So now we're going to follow our triangle we did right here on both sides. And we're going to add a few little details to make the cape look like it's flapping in the wind. So we're going to go straight line here. We're going to go down a little bit. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Line here, and then we'll go straight down. Then we're going to add a couple bumps. So it's going to be a little below the original triangle that we did right there. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. All right, this is to show that the cape is flapping. Then starting from his traps right here, we're going to do a little line here and a little line there. Okay, so now we should have his head and the top of his cape. Now we're going to do his hand, and we're going to complete the arm. So I'm going to start with the hand right here, and then we can go back and finish the arm, because this will make a lot more sense to all my player twos. Easy way of drawing hands in this position, we stay inside of our guideline that we did right here, and we're going to draw 1, 2, 3 lines. all three lines are going to be equal space apart because this is one finger, two finger, three finger, four finger, and then we're going to add a thumb. So now we have our lines. We're going to start on the edge and just draw a line straight down. And then we're going to curve these lines to close up this part of our shape. We're going to do the same thing at the top, but we're going to leave a little more space right here for his fingers because these will be his knuckles. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we should have a shape like this. Again, you should leave a little bit of space right here to add a little bit of separation. So there's his fist. Another oval on the bottom right here. And then bam. Complete fist. So as of right now, half of his cape is done. We've got his head. I forgot one spot. Superman has a cleft in his chin. So all you got to do is one little line right there. So now we have our guidelines right here. We're going to finish his arm. So we're going to do a little curve here. We're not going to complete this whole curve right here. There's going to be space right here. So this is going to be erased eventually. We're going to follow our line that we did right here. Go around it and close it up like that. Okay, so we did our curve right here, following our guidelines, and then we're going to follow our guideline here, break it up a little bit there, and then curve it up into the top. And we're going to add a little curve right here for the other part of his arm. So now we have head, cape, arm, fist. We're going to follow our guideline right here for the cape since we already did the arm and just add a small little curve and put that in there. Moving over to the other side, we're going to do the other arm. First thing we're going to do is where this connects, right here where the torso and the other arm connects, we're going to draw a shape just like that. Alright, it's going to be kind of like a smushed up L to add a shape because this will be the bottom of his chest. And then, following our original guideline that we did here, we're going to open it up a little bit, add a curve, and then follow that straight down. So as you can see, we have our guideline for his logo, we have the bottom of his chest, and then we have his back, and going down into his midsection. Alright, now we're going to finish up the arm. We're going to go over our guidelines here. We're going to start right here where his chest and his arm meets. We're going to add a curve. We're going to bring it partway into our second oval that we did over here. Now right here we're going to do a shoulder, add a little space here, bring it down, follow it right there, follow our guideline there, and then bring it down to there. So just follow our shapes that we did here, where the two parts connect. That'll be where his elbow is. That'll be like where this part, if you can see, of his arm is. Next, we're going to angle it a little, or make the line straight, bring it down, and then curve it over here. Okay, so now we have his arm, forearm, and now we're going to work on his hand. We're going to do his hand very easy, as hands are very difficult. So we have our shape. We're going to do a little curve, and like this. So it's going to be a curve, line, line, and then we're going to close it up right there. Then we're going to go inside of our square that we did right here. I made this a little larger, so I'm just going to close that up a little bit. Follow around here, and then bring it there. So let me go over that again, because I know I went really, really fast. So we have our square that we did. Inside the square, around the middle, we're going to do a curve. Then we're going to do another shape right here, like kind of like a rectangle that's not completely closed. Bring it down around, follow our guideline, and then close it up with another square. Again, since we're piecing this together by shapes, along the way, if you notice that one of your shapes is too small, one of your shapes is too big, one of it's not connecting, now you can see the big picture of everything. So if you make a mistake along the way and something doesn't look right, something's a little big, something's a little small, we can fix it. So now we have head, cape, fist, arm, part of his midsection, and his other arm is complete. We're going to go and we're just going to add a little slight curve right here to finish up his cape. We're going to go back to this later on, the midsection, but right now we're going to do his belt. So starting right about where the triangle in that square that we originally did, we're going to draw a line. Inside this line, we're going to do 3 rectangles. One large one that goes right in the middle, another one here, and another one here. This is Superman's belt. 3 rectangles. 1, 2, 3. And then a circle. 1, 2, 3 rectangles and a circle. We're going to follow this line down here, and then we're going to go a little outside our original triangle that we did, just to add a little bit more space there. Again, that first step is the guideline step, so we're just using that to do all of our placement, so when we start adding details, we start shaping up the image now, which is exactly what we're doing. I can't wait to see what my player 2s are doing with this. I know this is more difficult than the ones that we normally do, but everything that I've seen from all of you has been fantastic, and I know that you all can handle this. So then we're going to go over his leg. And then his other leg, we're going to start, we have our original oval. We're going to just take it down a little bit, and then we're going to curve it around, and then bring it up on the inside. Alright, so we started here, we just fatten it up a little bit, just bring it around, and go around there. And then, since his foot is behind his leg, we're just going to go over our guidelines that we did right there. And there you have it. This is step 2. Head, cape, arm, fist, Superman's little tights, underwear, whatever you want to call them, leg, leg, leg. I'm going to go through this really quick because all of you who watched the last episode should know exactly what I'm going to do now, is I'm going to draw the Superman logo, again using negative space. So I'm going over this. There's a triangle. There's a little oval. Close it up. There's a sick teenager coughing upstairs. And there you go. Step 2 is complete. Now we're going to move on to the final step, which is the finishing step, where I use the black marker or black felt tip pen, trace over everything here. On the board I'm going to use this because I'm not going to trace over this with a black marker because that's going to just completely ruin the board. So, black dry erase marker. Now I'm going to start at the top, at his head. So I'm going to go over his nose and his eyes, eyebrows, S-curl, his hair. Again, if something doesn't look right, this is the part where you can fix it. Over his hair, his ears, cheekbones, his mouth, his chin. I'm going to make that a little larger. We're going to go over shirt, neck, cape, little waves in his cape, wrinkles in the cape, other part of his cape here. Then I'm going to go over his fist, and his knuckles, and his thumb, with a little curve we did for his forearm, and the curve we did for his bicep, over his arm, over his midsection, his torso, his other arm, and his fist, cape, again over his logo very quickly, because we should have this down pat by now. Negative space. Drawing the yellow parts. Then his little tights. His belt. His legs. And finally, his feet. And there you have it. Completed Superman. Again, as I've stated before, I know that this is more difficult than what we're used to, but when you put everything together by breaking it down into shapes, and when we put the shapes together, we should be able to get something that looks very similar to this. If it doesn't look exactly like this, I don't want any of my player twos to get discouraged. Again, this is a new process. A lot of people are just learning how to draw like this. It's not going to look perfect all the time. Mine doesn't look perfect all the time. But the more you practice, the more you get it. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to show you the technique. And once you learn the technique, you can apply it to drawing anything. But, as I've stated before, I've seen my Player 2's artwork. You guys are doing a fantastic job with everything I'm throwing at you. So, I can't wait to see what you guys have done with this one. Right now, you guys have a finished picture of Superman. Give that ink a few minutes to dry, grab your erasers, erase all the pencil lines, and all you have left is the black lines. So if you take a look at this, all these guidelines, they'll be gone. And that way you'll have a more complete piece. Great job, Player 2s. I can't wait to see what you did with this episode. On this episode of the Classic Game Showcase, we're going to step away from covering Superman's solo video game adventures and focus on his appearances in fighting games. No, I'm not talking about the amazing Injustice games. We're going back to 1995 to cover Justice League Task Force for the Super Nintendo. Released at a time when Street Fighter II clones dominated the shelves, Justice League Task Force was a competitive fighting game produced by Sunsoft and distributed by Acclaim. The only thing that differentiates this game from other fighting games of the era is that it involves characters from DC Comics' Justice League. The story is very basic. Darkseid attacks Earth, and the only thing that can stop him is the Justice League. The player takes control of one of 6 available superheroes: Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Arrow, Flash, and Aquaman, and then must battle android duplicates of the other League members before taking on evil villains Cheetah, Despero, and eventually Darkseid himself. The gameplay is a standard 2D fighter, with each character having their own specific moveset based on their superpowers. Unfortunately, the limited number of moves and poor controls really take away from the fun factor of this game. The graphics of this game look great when the characters are standing still, but the choppy animation really affects the visual presentation, but you still get to see Superman rocking an awesome mid-90s mullet. Justice League Task Force was also available on the Sega Genesis with a few minor graphical differences, and it hasn't been ported to any modern systems. While not a bad game, it's not a great game either, and I think only die-hard DC Comics fans will enjoy it. If you're looking for a fighting game featuring characters from the DC Universe, I highly recommend the Injustice games, which are available now for PC and most current generation video game systems. I guarantee you won't be disappointed. Till next time. And that's a wrap on part 2 of a special 2-part episode devoted entirely to Superman. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video to help this channel grow. Also be sure to follow Rob's Arcade at the social media links listed in the description below. Now, as far as the next episode goes, I think my Player 2s are going to love this, because we're going to be digging deep into the Disney Vault again and spend some time with a classic Disney character who also had his own show on the Disney Afternoon. I know my Player 2s are going to love this one. Until then, keep drawing, and I'll see you next time at Rob's Arcade.